This is not the way for a family to settle family business. Gun violence will never be tolerated. All disputes must be settled civilly between parties, in or out of court, and not on the streets. These are words of Peter J. Lucido. He speaks in connection with a shooting that happens between siblings. So hello everyone and welcome. Today we look at the story of a shootout between siblings. A man in Michigan engaged in a shootout with his half-sister in the parking lot of their family business after a dispute.
We're extremely devastated as a family. We're just devastated.
Zachary, Holston, and Rita Evans owned a business together called Kath Chemicals. This was a soap-making company. Zachary was a chief executive officer, while Rita was a chief financial officer. So on Friday, the 26th of May, 2023, Zachary was on his way out of the workplace. He walked into the parking lot to his car. It is at this point that Rita, his half-sister, approached him. She was with her husband and daughter. The three approached Zachary on the passenger side of his car. An argument developed between brother and sister. This was apparently over some documents which were later found in the car by police. During this heated argument between Zachary and his sister Rita, Zachary pulled out his gun. Rita, who was also armed, reaches out into her purse and draws out her gun. The two started shooting at each other. Rita was shot and injured. She was rushed to hospital where she later died.
We understand that this is a dispute over business between a brother and a sister, and ultimately in the mix of the dispute, they both pulled out firearms and multiple shots were fired and the female was struck. Whether it was self-defense or whether it wasn't, these things are going to be figured out.
Zachary had no injuries after the shootout. He was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and felony firearm. He is expected to appear in court soon.
Mr. Holston, do you understand those charges and the penalties?
Yes, I do.
Court will enter a plea of not guilty. The rate of conviction is high in this matter, in this court's opinion. So the court will accordingly set bond in the amount of $500,000, cash or surety.
The prosecutors claim that the surveillance videos showed that the argument between siblings turned from verbal to something far worse. These are words coming from Macomb County Assistant Prosecutor Steve Fox.
Gives claims of self-defense into consideration at the time of authorizing these charges. The defendant who turned it from verbal to something far worse. And that included pushing away a young woman who was trying to get between the decedent Rita and the defendant, drawing his firearm when Rita had no gun at all in her hands, it was in her purse, pointing the gun at Rita as she was pulling her own gun in self-defense.
The county prosecutor, Peter J. Lucido, added by saying that the loss of life is always a profound tragedy, and it is especially disheartening when it occurs within the bonds of family. We extend our deepest condolences to the families affected by this devastating event, as they navigate through an unimaginable grief and loss that no words can adequately express.
I have to point the finger at my nephew who did the shooting. He is I won't say he's an excellent marksman, but he's very good with a gun. So if he wanted to stop his sister or wound his sister, he could have done that. He didn't have to kill his sister. People have to learn how to talk regardless of what it is. It can be talked out. It should not be a shootout.
This is a sad story indeed that happens between a brother and sister where there is a loss of life. I can imagine that this family is really torn apart. It would be great to hear your thoughts on this story. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.